know, a lot of people have their predictive models, political charts, and data to what's going to be happening in these upcoming midterm elections, but I think this one was the best one. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name is Luke Rudowski here of wearechange.org, and we have a lot of wild and wacky news to get into today, especially when it comes to domestic news, big tech, online social media developments, the political infighting between the former president of the United States and Ron DeSanctimonious. A governor just got called out on national television for one of the biggest lies, as there is now Candy Crush drone advertisements over New York. All of this as the international theater even gets crazier with insane footage that we're going to be sharing and talking about here, with even Vladimir Putin and the Netherlands saying enough of these sanctions. A big warning from the Wall Street Journal. What's going on here? Well, we're going to be doing our best to try to uncover that today in this broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing right now, you could get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com, and the clip we played in the beginning of this broadcast was officially shared by Joel Fisher. Who made it? I don't know, but they were a genius, as of course Joel pinned that this is going to be the official reaction to the midterm elections this coming up Tuesday. As of course the nation's eyes are on the politicians that billionaires have been financing, as even The Hill just openly admitted that it was this individual on your screen right now, that we can't mention here on this broadcast, that literally is the top donor of this political cycle, donating $128.5 million to the Democrats. Will that be money well spent? Will it be wasted? Will it actually mean that this man gets more representation of his views, his ideas on the general public? Well, only time will tell, but things aren't looking good for this man, as of course the attorney generals that he has financed into major political offices all throughout the country have been correlated with the huge rise of crime, to the point that even on MSNBC, a woke liberal anchor confronted the unelected governor of New York over the situation that her political party, financed by this man, has brought into our current society. This clip here, very telling.
But I'm going to interrupt you then. Here's the problem. We don't feel safe. You might be working closely with Mayor Adams. You may have spent a whole lot of money, but I walk into my pharmacy and everything is on lockdown because of shoplifters. I'm not going in the subway. People don't feel safe in this town. So you may have done these things, but right now we're not feeling good. We're worried we could be San Francisco.
A big reality to the bureaucratic unelected governor that, of course, previously, just a couple days ago, said that the crime wave is, quote, a conspiracy, and wasn't really actually happening. When video after video, attack after attack, it's pretty clear after many documented cases that criminals commit crimes and then they're literally released right away. Like this man, who was arrested 25 times and was wanted for 2 other horrible crimes against women, that just forced himself and robbed yet another woman. And an innocent woman was robbed of her dignity, of her bodily autonomy, because of politicians like this, financed by this individual, who at the end of the day are predominantly responsible for the chaos in many people's lives. Will there be a major pushback against these policies, these individuals, this upcoming midterm elections? Well, I think it's fair to say that. Will the Republicans create a situation that's going to address these problems and actually help the general public? Well, maybe. I'm not that hopeful, honestly, as of course, as today there's a lot of infighting news, especially amongst the Republicans, as the former president of the United States just coined a new nickname for what people see as his main GOP rival, the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, that he has named Ron DeSanctimonious. This, as of course, Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, has been beating the former president of the United States in many polls. Why is the Donald launching an attack against Ron DeSantis? Well, who really knows? But I think it might be fair to say that the popularity of the Florida governor might be something that the former president of the United States sees as a potential threat.
Ready for the nomination like nobody's ever seen before? Let's see, there it is, Trump at 71. Ron DeSanctimonious at 10%. Mike Pence at 7. Oh, Mike's doing better than I thought.
How will this bigger rivalry unfold? Well, it's going to be very interesting to watch, and it definitely looks like we're going to be getting a front seat as Twitter is also officially launching their $8 verification plan, which is meant to, of course, counter all the advertisers that are boycotting it right now, as of course there has been a concerted corporate large ESG-like effort to go after Twitter that has promised free speech, but has not yet changed anything about their moderation. Even just recently, Kanye West was banned from the platforms for 7 days for saying a naughty word. This as one of his friends, Kyrie Irving of the Brooklyn Nets, is in hot water with, it looks like, almost everyone after the NBA star shared a documentary which allegedly was controversial and anti-Semitic. I haven't watched it. I don't know exactly what they're talking about here. Kyrie Irving received a lot of backlash for talking about some kind of film. He apologized and then wanted to donate $500,000 to the ADL in response to this, which was met with no. And the NBA officially suspending him after he apologized, with the ADL even rejecting his $500,000 donation. And now, the Brooklyn Nets have come to Kyrie Irving with 6 items that he must complete in order to return to the NBA team, including apologizing again, which he did, but now he has to condemn the movie, which I guess he didn't do before. He has to again try to donate money to a, quote, anti-hate cause. He has to have sensitivity training, anti-Semitic training. He has to meet with the ADL. He has to meet with Jewish leaders. And he has to meet with the Joel Tasha in order to demonstrate that he has understood everything that he had to go through. And personally, I'm not surprised that there wasn't a condition under there that made Kyrie Irving go to Ukraine and fight for the government there, as of course that seems like one of the only excuses to have to where you could express any controversial idea and not face any backlash for it. And if you thought the thought police couldn't become more absurd and more ridiculous, we're also finding out that over the weekend, controversial thinker and philosopher David Icke was just banned for entering Europe after the government there deemed him a, quote, threat to public order. Yeah. What? The man has political thoughts and ideas about religion, about the moon, about astrology that are totally outside of the box. How is that a threat to a, quote, public order? And again, I don't always agree with everything that David Icke has to say, or Kyrie Irving shared, or Kanye expresses. But I think it's fair to say that what's happening to a lot of these individuals is a way of trying to create thought control and to scare anyone from daring and questioning or thinking outside of the very tightly controlled narratives that, of course, the establishment wants to secure and protect at all costs here. Again, you do not have to agree with these individuals to call out the absurdity of the punishment that these individuals are receiving for expressing things that are controversial. We should have the ability as a society to hear controversial thoughts, debate them, have a battle of the ideas where good ideas beat out bad ideas, but we don't. It looks like we just have a totalitarian, top-down, insecure control grid system that essentially, at the end of the day, will be spreading more bad ideas rather than, of course, countering them, addressing them, and beating them out with good ideas. And I believe these individuals have a right to a voice just like everyone else. And if you don't like it, you don't have to listen to it. But to enforce some kind of morality police on these individuals, to punish them, to ostracize them, to try to hurt them for not thinking the same way you're thinking, is a pathway towards a total abusive society that does not care or protect individual rights. And while controversial ideas are snuffed out, the only thing humanity is going to be surrounded with is, of course, conformist, corporatist viewpoints, like messages of flying drones over your cities telling you to play Candy Crush. A society with only these ideas and words and actions represented is in a society in decay, is a society that is faltering, is a society that's being destroyed, and as the ideas that could be debated and talked about is constrained by these central controllers. This is why, one reason out of many reasons, I created a t-shirt store where, cheap, cheesy plug here, but in all actuality, this is the honest truth here, you could express a message that still cannot be censored anywhere. The political messages that you could express here, the conversations, the memes, the ideas, the thinking that you could spur in the general public, at the supermarket, at your local bank, is one that they cannot stop as of right now. And again, this is why I have the best political shirts.com. This is one of our latest creations that I am very proud for. As of course, everyone's going to be voting for their favorite statist and their favorite politician in order to push their will and ideas onto others. Me, I'm going to be supporting Ligma Johnson, who I think is more of a rational, reliable candidate that's going to be hard on the most important issues. And if you agree that politics is absolute nonsense, get your Ligma Johnson shirt on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. We also have cheesy and corny messages like the one I'm wearing right now, spurring people to try to be the best versions of themselves. We have some other very politically charged messages that we can't even show you here on this broadcast. We have shirts that we're raising money for charity, and whatever your political discontent might be, we probably have a shirt for it. You could get all of those shirts. Start the conversation. Do your form of lazy activism. Be a part of the conversation and even have the best holiday gifts for your loved ones. The best holiday shirts and sweaters like this one, comparing Christmas lights to you-know-who. And you could be the talk of the town, all just by going to thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And because you do, this keeps our independent media organization up and running, and it wouldn't be possible without you guys purchasing and buying some of the items on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. See you there after this broadcast. Now, of course, we're still not done here. There's so much news going on here, but essentially, I still think I'm going to have to save this other report for tomorrow. We do videos here at least 5 days a week. There's a crazy article by the Wall Street Journal talking about how the Ukraine conflict is just a warm-up. There's a potential for this conflict ending as Putin is making, threats about Hiroshima. Yeah, things are really interesting. And to give this subject the respect that it's due, I'm just going to save it for tomorrow. Stay tuned, subscribe, click the notification button. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys sharing these videos, getting the shirts, and because you do, this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.